With June official visits off and running, we understandably had quite a few commitments from across the country. So we're going to break down some 2024 and 2025 editions with 24/7 Sports national recruiting analyst Chris Singletary. Chris is joining the show now, and let's start on the West Coast. How about it? With 2024 three-star Hayden Tretter, the Colorado native, picked USC. So what are the Trojans getting in the massive 6'6", 300-pound lineman?
I think you just touched on it. Massive. You can never have enough size in the trenches. And the thing about Hayden is a guy that plays on the right side of the line in the interior, potentially could be a right tackle. You're getting a road area, a wide body, a guy that can get some guys moved up out of there to be able to help in the run game. A massive young man, does an excellent job with his bend, and somebody who can anchor down in pass protection. Also still has a lot of room to grow from a development and a technique standpoint. So I'm sure Tim Drevno and that staff is really excited about what they can do with him in terms of just really getting him to be the top flight offensive lineman that they want. But he has a lot of room to develop, the position versatility. But again, 6'6", 300 pounds, it's hard to find those guys, and they're not just walking around.
No, they are not. And if you see them walking around, you will definitely notice them. We have two national recruiting analysts on the show, so we're going to take advantage of having both these guys. Blair, I'm going to ask you about a school not far that you know pretty well, UCLA. Chip Kelly picked up a commitment from three-star linebacker Blake Tabaracci out of the Park City, Utah area. The Bruins now have 6 commitments in the 24 class, but who'd they just add?
Well, they added a Tabaracci to go along with what USC already has, and that's Carson Tabaracci. Carson's a tight end who used to play linebacker, transferred from Utah. Now Blake is following him to Los Angeles, but playing for the Bruins. They're both moving to the Big Ten. I'm sure the family is searching for those Big Ten connecting flights from Salt Lake City Airport. The Bruins are getting a really dynamic linebacker, a player that's still learning the position. He plays quarterback as well, but I think that helps him, and it helps his instincts as a defensive prospect. He's really long and has that build that gives you the, I think a way to look at him is he's still not a finished product, right? You think that he still has a lot of promising upside in terms of his physical makeup. A really productive player, a player that also rushes on the offensive side of the ball, so he knows, kind of where to feel out pressure and feel out the contact. So I think a well-rounded defender and a developmental project there that the UCLA can probably continue to get better once he focuses on defense full-time.
2 Tabaraccis are better than 1. Chris, in the Northeast, we mentioned Penn State's newest additions, but its highest ranked commitment over the weekend was from 4-star safety Dewan Lane. So what does the Baltimore product add to the Nittany Lions' now top 10 class?
He adds length. You're talking about a guy that's 6'2", 6'3 plus playing in the secondary. You're talking about size at 195 pounds. He's a 3-phase prospect, special teams, offense, defense. He's a guy that has the ability to play in the post as a safety, or even be able to be a factor down in the box, as you see on the clip here, and be able to be excellent with his eyes. He is real disciplined, and the thing that you see is he has tremendous ball production, whether it's on offense and defense. If the ball is in the air, he understands how to attack it to make plays. And then again, you can't teach his length. 6'3", 195 pounds, being able to be a factor not only in the pass game and the run game. You're talking about a young man that went 10-9-8 as a sophomore, is also on the 4x1 and 4x2 relay teams at his high school. And so you see size, you see length, you see athleticism, and you see more than enough speed. And so the people down in Happy Valley, I'm sure, are excited about adding him to the fold.
All right, Blair, we saw some action in the 2025 class as well. You got Alabama landing 4-star running back Anthony Rogers out of IMG Academy. He's currently the #1 back in the class. So what does Nick Saban get in this dynamic runner?
Well, he's got a player that's now nicknamed Turbo, so, score one and tally one up for Nick Saban. He's a big play, home run hitter type, a running back who can slash and dash his way to the end zone. Not very tall, but he's strong and powerful. He picks his holes and attacks the lanes hard. He's the type of player, Chris, and I know you've seen them, he leaves a trail of rubber pellets on the synthetic turf whenever he runs. He's really electric, really dynamic. I love the way he runs the football, and the Fighting Irish clearly know a thing or two about exposing and maybe using some of these running backs that can be really productive.
So good to see Nick Saban finally land an electric running back in the recruiting game. It's just something you don't see very often. Finally, Texas landing 2025 quarterback and four-star KJ Lacey, the Alabama prospect, automatically becomes the face of that class. But on the field, what kind of player is he?
Over 3,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns rushing, only 5 turnovers. You're talking about a playmaker, a guy that can make plays within the pocket, also does an excellent job making throws off platform, always keeping his body in the right position. He has more than enough arm talent to stretch the field vertically, does an excellent job of layering the ball, and then to be able to go to the state of Alabama and get a guy like this who's a winner, led his team to the 6A state championship. You bring him behind Malik Murphy, Arch Manning, even Owens, who they have currently committed. And now you go into the state of Alabama and you bring KJ Lacey. And I'm sure there's another caveat there in terms of being able to still try to get his running mate at the receiver position and Owens to possibly flip and come with him. But you got a playmaker, a guy who fits the system. And I'm sure, and I know that Sark is excited to have him. He's not the biggest guy. And I'm sure from that standpoint, they'll be able to do some things to protect him with that tremendous offensive line that they have with the young guys that are developing down there in Austin. But you're talking about a young man that really can spin the ball and get it to his playmakers all over the field.
Looks like Texas has some great succession plans for their quarterback position over the next few years. Big ad there. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. Also, be sure you are listening to the 24/7 Sports Football Recruiting Podcast with our friends Andrew Ivins and Cooper Patagna. New episodes drop every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You can listen wherever you get your podcasts.